I almost have a completely new computer from what I originally started out with. Like, it would idle Fortnite at like 80 to 90 degrees, which was why it would constantly crash, I think. Now I will be going for this GPU, and that's gonna be a lot more money. We'll see you when my finances get there. Hey guys, long time no see. It's been a minute, but I'm gonna be back to making content. Hopefully a lot more consistent this time. A lot's happened since I've been gone, but instead of going into what all has happened, because that would be an hour-long video, I'm just gonna show you guys what you missed since you guys haven't been here. I got a new setup, I've got some new equipment, and I've got some really good ideas for what I want to do in the future for collabs and things like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna stay too long on this intro, so let's get started. I am still learning how to use DaVinci competently. Please bear with me on how bad this video is probably going to be. Okay, let's start with the most important part, the GPU. Now, of course, that was the first thing I needed to get fixed because it just wasn't going to work out with the way that I wanted to do content. So over the summer, I was trying to save up to buy myself a new GPU, the 4060 Ti. But then my friend and fellow clown Jordan AM told me that this 4060 Ti didn't have the correct connector pins that I would need to put it into my computer safely without blowing it up. Jordan, they found off of Mercari a 4070 that was being sold for a very low price, and at that point, since I already had 3 times the amount saved up for it, Jordan went ahead and advised me with light convincing to just go ahead and close on the purchase. And now I present to you the Zotac NVIDIA 4070 Twin Edge OC, and it cost me $575, which was about $25 over market price. If it was about $25 over market price, if I remember correctly. But at that price, at that time, that was probably the greatest steal I was gonna get for the foreseeable future. The setup was very simple, especially since, as you guys know, I have plenty of experience taking my computer apart and putting it back together. So setting the new GPU up was pretty easy for me at this point. And then I went ahead and retired the old GPU to be packaged up to be sold, which of course it didn't work for me, so I didn't think it was gonna work for anybody else. So I prefaced that when I went to go sell it, and then when I finally sold it, it worked fine. It had no fucking issue. And so the person that I sold it to basically got a 7600 XT for a fucking steal. Let's move on. Let's move on. Within a couple days of me having this new GPU and it working great with the rest of my system, randomly as I'm doing homework, my fans just shut off. The next day after that, I couldn't use my computer until after I replaced the fans. So then I had to go to Best Buy and buy some new fans. And because I had to get certain fans that connected, that's a whole other thing. Since I had to buy new fans anyway, I figured that I would just do something different with the fan setup. Because while I do like RGB, those lights are bright in the nighttime, and I wanted to switch it to something more subtle and low-key. I bought myself some new case fans, which were the Thermaltake Ring 120mm case fans. I got 3 of them in blue and 3 of them in white, and I was gonna alternate them in my case. So here's the thing. I have a Montec X3 case, which is a really nice case and is budget friendly and everything, right? The reason why my old fans turned off was because the connector that controlled the LGB, the connector that controlled the RGB system within the case, the connector shorted out, but the fans themselves still worked fine. The old fans were connected by Molex pins, and the new fans I bought were 4-pin. Obviously, that wasn't gonna work. Now, I wouldn't have had to buy the fan hub in the first place if I just paid attention to what connectors the fans were, and honestly, that one's on me. I can't even lie. I wasn't paying enough attention to the specifications. So, Jordan, again, being the tech advisor that they are, advised me towards a fan hub that was made by Arctic. It can connect up to 10 fans on the same hub, and you can either stick it with a magnet or with 3M like sticky tabs. I use the magnet because I want to be able to take it off, but because I use the magnet, sometimes my PC likes to give me a little kiss made out of electricity, and that's okay. That same day, I had to then again take my computer apart, take the old fans out, take out some other parts that were conflicting with the way that the wires were gonna have to be put. Disassembling and assembling my PC is not something that is hard to me anymore. So after a few trial and error seeing where the wires had to go, I put them back, I put in the fans how I wanted them to, they look great, and now my PC has a new fresh look that I really enjoy very much, especially at night. So of course, as the summer went on, I was working. I had a second screen before, but it was more like one of those portable screens, and it wasn't bad. It's just for what I needed to be able to do. I slowly began to realize I needed a normally sized monitor. So I did what any person would do and go to my local surplus store and tried to find myself a new monitor. A lot of those monitors predated about 2016, 2015, somewhere in there, and a lot of those monitors, because of it, didn't have a display port option, which was what I was mainly searching for, because my GPU has 3 display port options versus 1 HDMI, and display port is just better for visual data communication. So that was the search for it. So after spending about 20-30 minutes in the surplus store, I stumbled across a monitor, the only monitor on the rack that had a display port, dated to 2017, and I was ecstatic because not only did the monitor have a display port, it also came with its own stand. Now, with me having this Asus monitor as my main monitor, the needs of the second monitor didn't need to be very, very high or very, very advanced or anything. I got the Dell P2317H, which again, it dates back to 2017. Nothing special about it. It's your standard monitor. 60 hertz refresh rate, 1920 by 1080. It meant that I was able to have the same visual area to look at, but it didn't need to be so visually demanding on the GPU, which was nice. Now, as you could probably gather, I speak a lot about homework because I am still doing schoolwork. So one of the demands that I had over the summer was that I needed an audio interface because I was taking a class related to sound design. Since I had to buy something for the class, I figured I would buy something that I could use beyond the needs of the class. I bought an audio interface from the same company that my main mic is from, and that's Mauno. So with that, I landed on the Maunocaster E2 bundle, and I love this thing to death. A product review is coming soon, don't worry, but not only do I have an audio interface where I can control audio through, the bundle also came with a second microphone that's an XLR mic that runs through the audio interface into my computer. Now, one of the last additions I made to my setup was that I got myself a second camera. It's a DSLR because I also needed that for a class, but that's a whole separate thing. The camera that I ended up getting was the Nikon D3100. Now again, it's an older model camera, older model DSLR, and it's not gonna have nearly of the new features and stuff, and frankly, that's not a big priority. Is it the best camera in the world? No, of course not. I was working on a budget, but not only does it give me practice on using real cameras like a DSLR camera, it also allows me to be able to do more with my content because it serves the needs of me being able to actually have a use for my tripod that I also got from Goodwill. Now, the tripod that I have is the Sunpack 5858D, which Sunpack is a brand that's used for a lot of higher grade tripods, and I recognized that when I saw it in Goodwill, and they were selling it. They sold it to me for $4, which was an amazing steal. The tripod is made out. It's some of the parts are made out of plastic, and some of the parts are made out of metal. But no matter what, it's still a very sturdy tripod. And at maximum height, it's a bit taller than me. I just want to be able to play around with a real camera and practice using those, since those have a wide range of uses I could use. I've already taken some landscape pictures and some portrait pictures, just experimenting with the knowledge that I do know and things that I learned through YouTube and my job. And with all of the chaos that was the last 5 or 6 minutes, here is a finished look of how my setup is. Now, the thing about this and the thing about me still being in school is that my rooming situation changes a lot. So because of that, the way that my setup looked before is now very, very, very squished together in the room that I'm currently in, because the desk sizes were not the same. And I didn't know that going into this. Now, I'm going to give you a short preview of the videos that are coming soon, because I've been away for a while, and that's the least y'all deserve. Next Friday, actually, as a welcome back to y'all, I'm double releasing 2 Fridays in a row. Me and my friend Jordan, we did a challenge on Bazai OS where we experimented with the different features on that operating system, and we take you through the journeys of our experience with that, and you're in for a treat for that one, so you don't want to miss that. And then, in no particular order, I still am going to get back to playing Granny. I haven't forgotten about you, Gary, don't worry. I'm going to play Granny at some point in the future. It's coming. And the product review that I mentioned earlier about the Mountaincaster E2, that will also be coming in the future as well. My new goal for making content is that I'm gonna still release every other Friday. That's gonna still be the goal. At the very least, I'm gonna try and give you guys 1 video a month if life gets in the way, like it likes to do sometimes. But I still plan to give you content. I still plan to get that going. And what I do want to try and experiment with is short form content to kind of get my channel out there. And that was all I have for this video. So like I said, hopefully I'm gonna make it content more specifically. I got a whole slew of videos that I plan to release, like pre-recorded and release in the future. But if you want to see that and more, make sure to subscribe and comment what you want to see from me. In that case, I'm glad to be back. I'm sure you guys are happy for me to be back. And then until I get started on everything else, I'll see you guys in the next video.